I will start with the most important role, I would say, in a Toastmaster meeting, the Toastmaster of the day. A meeting's quality and the smooth conduct depends on how the Toastmaster of the day handles that one. He is basically like an anchor or you call a master of ceremony who controls the entire proceedings in the meeting once the podium is handed over to him. He will ensure that the time is maintained. He will present his theme in between. And at the same time, he will ensure that all the role players are introduced. So this is the responsibility of a TMOD. Like he should introduce all the role players. He should invite everybody and handle the meeting in such a way that it finishes on time, because the starting is entirely depending on the president and the attendance of all the people. But Toastmasters always wants things to start on time and to finish on time, because time management is one of the qualities that we learn in Toastmasters, in addition to communication and leadership. So most of you might have seen that we have very efficient TMODs and we have a lot of new members. So how Toastmasters function is that we share our knowledge or our experience with new Toastmasters so that everybody can take up the role without any hesitation or without any fear. So every role requires preparation, whether it is Toastmaster of the day or speeches or timer or whatever it is. Preparation makes a person perfect in presenting that. So if you Google Google and find out the way a Toastmaster of the day functions in a meeting, you can see that there are scripts available in the public platform, like how you have to start and how it should be phased out properly. You can prepare the script in advance, use that to present during the meeting. How I would do before how I was doing was, I will take the agenda, because that will help us to plan it in a proper way. It is normally available in Excel. So how I do is that I will write my portion, like my speech portion, in between those scripts. For example, the president introduces the Toastmaster of the day and hand over the podium to him. Then he normally comes and explains about a theme. So I normally write 2 or 3 sentences just after the podium is handed in the agenda itself. Then the next important role for Toastmaster of the day is to introduce the speakers. So he has to have an upfront information about the speakers. So the Toastmaster of the day should have an upfront information about all the speakers and the role play. So it will make his life easy when he introduces the people. Instead of saying something like, it will be very good if you say specifically about the speaker. For example, if I tell Toastmaster of the day is the VPPR, he is like a veteran Toastmaster. This is the general thing. But if you can say a few words that he is working with the Timadas, so and so thing, that will be beneficial. But again, you should be wise enough and capable of handling the time. You should not be overshooting the time. And another way nowadays, what people are doing or conveniently doing is making PPT. Okay, that's a good way of doing, because even in our Toastmasters pathways, presentations are an important part of the curriculum to develop our skills. But it will become boring if you just read out of this PPT. Instead, you should have the PPT. For example, last time I presented about ChatGPT. Okay, in that one, if I just read from the slides, it won't look nice. Instead, you have the PPT, then you should explain these things from your own. That is what we are trying to achieve. Like without PPT or with script, without looking at the script, you should be able to explain. Today, I didn't prepare anything for this meeting. I just say out of what I am saying. It doesn't mean that I am an excellent speaker or something, but that is the level everybody should aim as the base level. So that is one thing that is during the meeting. But before the meeting, Toastmaster of the day has to contact every person in the club and some guests to ensure that everybody attends, everybody understands their roles. And that gives a like a sense of attachment. Like if I call every person in the club, there will be the chances of them attending the meeting will be like at least 3 times more than if we just put a message or something. So make sure that you are prepared, you have a proper script, you contact all the persons and you go through the agenda and then prepare the script in such a way that it starts and finishes on time. If you want more information on that one, I will suggest go Google it, because unless you do an effort, you will not see how the Toastmasters. You can see speeches, you can see samples of the script and all those things. Okay. Now my second thing is thought of the evening. Again, all Toastmaster roles are time bound. If you do not manage the time, or if you see the agenda, normally for a thought of the evening, it is given like 2 minutes or maximum of 3 minutes. It will be ideal if you can stick to that 2 minutes limit, because if you take 7 minutes, then the Toastmaster of the day has struggles in adjusting the remaining time, because he will be skipping some item. So to avoid that one, everybody should stick to the time. When you are given with a thought of the evening, you don't need to say a big story like a speech. You are supposed to give a thought. It can be a quote, can be a small story which can fit in. It can be a message. It can be like you can motivate them, saying that this is what is to be done, and an old saying or something like that. You again, nowadays with the artificial intelligence and ChatGPT, everything in place, you can easily find out good thoughts. Just search for thought of the evening or thought of the day to be presented in Toastmasters. You will get things. And again, the key is preparation. Prepare it before you come to the meeting. Don't just come like to the meeting and start saying something. Prepare it before the meeting. Confirm your role to the VP Education so that he doesn't need to scramble in the meeting to find out who is going to present the thought of the evening. Okay, that is spontaneous, but that is not the regular practice. So you have to prepare it. Prepare a script. And if I am in your place, I will be writing it down, reading it through, practicing in front of a mirror with a stopwatch on, so that I can polish it to fix it within the time without losing the requirement. And now the third role, why I am rushing through, is that we want to stick to the time limit. Now, listening master. Listening master is the one which we use to test the attention, how everybody is taking this meeting, attending in the meeting, what takeaways they're getting. So we are testing their listening skills. Basically, it's a way to make sure that everybody is attending. And I'm very glad to say that all of our Toastmasters were very attentive in the meetings, and it is very evident from all the time when we conduct these things. But what I will suggest is that sometimes we lose focus, that we will find out some questions which is not easy to answer or something like that. So first of all, limit it to 5 to a maximum of 6 questions, 4 to 6, I will say ideally. And that should be like, an abstract questions, not like they will be able to answer in an essay type of thing. Just like, okay, a specific point. So the listening master needs to be very attentive to pick up these points and ask these questions. I hope I made it clear. If you still have more questions to ask about these roles, you can contact any of us who were there in the Toastmasters for over the last 5-6 years.